Welcome one and all to the PWF Empire Live Payback review for the 2016 pay-per-view, which just went off the air minutes ago. And we've got a big panel with us today here on the show. I am Evan, and I will be moderating tonight in the absence of the great Jay, who is not here with us on this Sunday evening. Payback just in the books now. An interesting night, definitely one with some interesting talking points for multiple reasons. So let's go ahead and introduce the panel. We've got Lucas, DJ Cass, and Steven, of course. And no intro tonight, so I kind of had to ad-lib my way through this one. But how are we doing tonight, guys?
Well, it seems like Mr. Jamie Duberson is missing. I wonder where he went. And for those wondering why I haven't moderated tonight, it's probably because me and Jamie Duberson got into it last week. He said some things to me, but don't worry. This Tuesday, we got it all under control. I'm going to be reporting him, taking him to court, and I will be back as a moderator.
He needs to come back and be in his position. People, let me show you something. This is where I'm at right now.
Don't start that.
Lucas don't want none.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into this night. Did anybody watch the pre-show matches? Just as a aforementioned.
I saw
did.
the Kalisto match.
I did.
Steven, stop trolling. You did not watch that match.
I did. I swear. I did.
I certainly did
I
not
actually
watch
liked it.
No, you just watched the clip. How about this? I'll take care of it. How about this?
I
All
actually
right.
did watch the Kalisto Ryback match.
Did you see, what was it, 5 seconds or something? Is that why you saw
No,
it?
it was like 10 minutes long.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin, of course, and pretty much the match really wasn't anything to write home about. It's pretty much what we saw the night after Mania, and of course, Dolph Ziggler actually went over, which I really don't get. I would have liked to see that go much differently if Baron Corbin would have actually got some heat on Ziggler after the match, but since you didn't, you don't really protect Corbin's character after that. And as far as Kalisto versus Ryback, I will say this, though. People, this is not saying much. It was better than the WrestleMania kickoff match.
No, it wasn't.
It was. It was a good match.
Yeah, it was.
I actually like Ryback and Kalisto. It's just that it doesn't. It's the type of match that you see at a house show and you enjoy, but that's all it is.
Well, yeah. So then,
That doesn't make it any less fun to watch, though.
Yeah, in that
it's
essence,
a good match.
In that essence, if it's a house show match, how the hell is it any better than the WrestleMania pre-show match?
Just go
House show
back
matches
and
are
watch
pretty good
it when you
usually.
can. There's your pre-show
So
match.
clearly the pre-show matches weren't something that I really missed here. I mean, I saw the end highlights of Ryback and Kalisto. That military press was pretty impressive on
Yeah, it
Ryback's
was.
part.
Oh, yeah,
I like
it was.
that. I did like that part.
Oh
But I
my
thought it was weird
God.
that Kalisto ended up coming up and winning seconds later. So a little bit weird on the psychological aspect, I guess. But I mean, I guess it was all right. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the main card, which is really what we're here to talk about. We started the night up with the number one contender Tag Team Championship match. We get the New Day coming out, getting us hyped up. You got good energy going here to get the night off. But a very unfortunate incident happening in this opening match to Enzo Amore, as it was Enzo and Cass, for those who didn't know, versus the Vaudevillains in this number one contenders match, with Enzo Amore getting hurt. So unfortunately, this match did not really get to take place, didn't unfold in any way, shape, or form as it would have. And it was pretty awesome, too, because you had the New Day outside enjoying some snacks, some sodas, just chilling against the barricade. But unfortunately, everything just goes out the window when a serious injury like this happens. Definitely not something that anyone saw coming. You guys have any thoughts on that?
I'm glad it looks like he's okay. I mean, we don't know exactly what his condition is, but we know he's got a concussion and his extremities are okay, apparently, and he's talking again. So it looks like, to me anyway, it looks like he's not in any dire condition, so that's good, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's not really much to talk about when it comes to the in-ring aspect, because of course, once Enzo he hit that middle rope, I mean, you could just tell. Like when I first saw him like laying on the ground for like more than 10 seconds and his eyes weren't moving at all, that's when I was like, oh man, this is definitely not a shoot. You can just see like at a big cast is like you can just see him like at ringside. He's like, oh my god, are you serious? But I will say the New Day stuff was funny before all that, but. I'm just glad. Let's just hope that Enzo is not all he has is a concussion. I know that sounds weird, but let's just hope that's all he has. So, best wishes to him.
I'm curious. I didn't watch this match, this one, nor the Owens versus Sami Zayn match because I was just getting home. But how long was this tag team match running for?
About 4 minutes.
Yeah,
about 4 minutes.
It wasn't even like 10 minutes into it. I did see it. Wow. Wow, I did see the replay as they showed later on. That is not a pretty sign. Yeah, that's nasty. Like, because remember, guys, those ropes, what's built inside of them is metal. So the fact that his head connected with metal, that's very dangerous. That's almost life-threatening. To me, that was a scary scene. I'm glad it wasn't more than I'm glad it was just a concussion and not anything worse. You know what I mean? Because that really could have been something severe there.
Sorry, not to mean to cut you off, Evan, but let me just say this real quick. Like I said, I love tag team wrestling. As a big fan of it, I was really looking forward to seeing two teams, fresh teams, go at it. And this is just times where, as a wrestling fan, I can really just kind of sit back in this guy. So, man, we really kind of take these wrestlers for granted at times because.
Well, that was just a rare coincidence right there. Like.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think he expected his head to connect with those ropes, to be honest.
You can see he tried to block it, I think.
Yeah, it was just an unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah, it definitely was. And it goes to show you that it's not just the high and overly dangerous spots that can really lead to an injury. Wrestling is extremely dangerous, and it goes to show you that even on a spot like that, something serious could occur. So the good thing is, it seems like it's just a concussion. I know that might sound like a weird statement to make, but it could have been so much worse. And from the outset, it looked like it was so much worse. So everybody's hoping that Enzo recovers well, and he's not going to be out for too much time. Just hope for his livelihood and for his future as a human being, as an individual, he's all right, and that he can get back on track because he's one of the most entertaining and enjoyable guys right now. So it's really unfortunate to see him get injured. Hopefully he bounces back soon. So let's go ahead and move on to the first real match of the night, unfortunately, but it was a great one. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens getting the victory with the pop-up powerbomb, and just an unbelievable match top to bottom, but I want to get your guys' opinions on this one.
Yeah, this was the match of the night, in my opinion. It was really good from top to bottom, and there were a lot of near falls, there were a lot of cool moments in it, and I'm glad there was a decisive win. And as much as I hate to say it, because they're both good, I'm glad Kevin Owens won, because I think he needed it more, and I think Kevin Owens should be the obstacle that is in Sami Zayn's way, and if he beat him already, it's kind of throwing it away too early. So I'm glad that Owens got the victory, and I'm glad he got it clean, because it's hard to remember that Owens was a lot more credible than he used to be. He would get clean wins like this all the time, most notably against John Cena, and he did beat Sami Zayn. Did he beat him twice clean? I think he did, right?
No, not twice clean.
How many times clean?
He beat him the first time via KO, and then the second time, I think was via KO also. So
I mean, that's clean in my opinion. KO is
to me that's clean as well. I'm with you, Steven, because I think that's just a more brutal clean victory over someone.
That's like the most decisive. Well,
yeah, it probably is. Again, difference of opinion. That's fine. Any thoughts from you, Lucas?
I did tune in middle way through the match, so I did get to see the final seconds of it. I gotta admit, as soon as my stream came on the WWE Network, the fans were just right into it, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm missing something here, and I guess I was missing something. So this was a good match for what I saw. The back and forth action, Kevin Owens was freaking amazing tonight in every aspect, and just everything he did tonight. He was absolutely amazing. They told a story. I kind of wish, they had the build up to this match because it would have made it that much better, Kevin Owens winning. But for what it was, the execution with Kevin Owens after the match, talking on the microphone, he really looked badass again. Like, he looked official. He looked legitimate like he did a year ago when he debuted against John Cena. And that's the Kevin Owens we need to see more of. I originally predicted Sami Zayn was going to win. I don't know if this feud continues, but by the looks of it, it is going to continue. So that's the only thing that I wanted to see was the payoff tonight because, if you're going to name this Payback, I would assume this was going to be the conclusion of the feud. But now it seems to just be getting started again. So I don't know what's going to be the payoff. But regardless of all of that, this match was great.
Definitely. How about you, Cass?
Yeah, I mean, the match was definitely fantastic, and I'll admit, people, even though I said I wasn't really too big on this match yet again, they definitely exceeded my expectations. I don't know why I thought that, but I will say I gotta commend those two because after what we saw in the first thing, like, they were put in a really tough spot because everybody was just so down and trying to get the people back into it. So yeah, I definitely commend them on that one. However, I will say, and I'm gonna explain this when we get to the next one, I'm not too big on Owens winning. Because I just feel as if with him winning, it's honestly like, so does the story with them kind of stop right there? But yeah, I'll elaborate more once we get to the next one.
All right. Well, for me personally, I mean, I thought this was an excellent match, especially when you consider the tone of the night. You have such a tough way to get this pay-per-view started. I mean, honestly, having an injury happen at all is tough. Having an injury happen at the very beginning of the main card is even tougher. So I think they really bounced back with a great energy here in this match. Just excellent top to bottom. It didn't make you forget what happened to Enzo, but it put it to a better, like, you just thought, okay, I'm just going to hope he's going to be all right, and, like, here's this match. It's great. Let's just focus on what's going on, and that's exactly what needed to happen here. So Owens and Zayn were excellent. They pulled out everything they needed to in this match. Great near falls, great spots. You weren't sure what was going to happen. I mean, they have, obviously a laundry list of matches that they've had before. They know each other like anything. They're best friends. It's very simple for these two guys to work together, and that was very evident here. So an amazing match.
Yeah, and if you think about it, you mentioned it earlier, the fact that the original opener was supposed to be the tag match. Not only that, but Owens and Sami Zayn went out there, and they weren't prepared for that. They weren't expecting that. So the fact that they still gave us that performance goes to show you that these guys are ready to go at any second. You got to give credit to performers. A lot of time people just care about being entertained, but they went out there and without even having notice that this was going to happen, they just went out there and still freaking stole the show. So I think that in the end of itself is amazing story to tell right there.
Real quick, not like I remember how I said I wasn't really big on this match coming in, but I will say much appreciated to that production team. That video package that they showed before that match was a hell of a lot better than the first one they showed on Raw, and that got me even more.
But who cares about those production or whatever you want to call them? Those production exclusive packages.
Dude, are you serious?
Who cares
seriously, if I was not watching WWE week to week, I would be sitting there watching that package and going like, "Man, these two guys are the best thing since sliced bread." I can't wait to watch.
That's what I'm saying. It hasn't been the best thing since sliced bread, so I don't care about that production.
All right, so I think this is a good time to just transition smoothly right into the Intercontinental Championship match, which was The Miz and Cesaro. And the reason this transitioned so smoothly is because we had a little bit of a post-match beatdown from Owens on Zayn to kind of keep things going. And then on top of that, Byron Saxton goes to interview Kevin Owens, and then Owens basically volunteers himself to join the commentary team. Thank the Lord, because the regular commentary team, not very good. So yeah, Kevin Owens was going to bring some laughter and entertainment and enjoyable qualities to that announced team.
The cowboy hat.
Yeah, just lounging around. I mean, he's the man. He is the man, and I think we got to see a lot of that here at Payback. And he says, hey, I want that Intercontinental title back. So he's able to provide commentary throughout the match, entertain us with that, and Cesaro and Miz go out there and put on a show for us. And then we get a sideshow, Sami Zayn jumping over the announce table and attacking Kevin Owens while the IC title match was still going on. Everything kind of all happening at once. Miz ultimately retaining his championship over Cesaro, and maybe a potential teaser at a 4-way for the IC title. it's I guess a little bit tough to tell based off what happened, but just kind of a blending of great possibilities, at least as far as I'm concerned. What do you guys think of this whole thing?
Go ahead, Lucas.
The match itself between Cesaro and The Miz, I don't know if it's weird. I don't know if I should feel good about this match or if I should feel good about Kevin Owens on commentary, because to me, what overshadowed the match was Kevin Owens on commentary. So I kind of was distracted by all of this. I wasn't a big fan of that, because this was actually one of those matches that I was looking forward to between Cesaro and The Miz. I really wanted to see what Cesaro could do in his first pay-per-view match back since I don't know how long. I was expecting him to go out there and give us a better performance against The Miz, but it wasn't that. It felt like this match was overshadowed, almost as if WWE didn't care about the performers in the ring. And that's the only aspect of it that I didn't. Kevin Owens stuff, the beatdown, the heel commentary work, it was all excellent. But at the end of the day, this was a match that I wanted to see between The Miz and Cesaro. And I honestly thought that this could be a potential show stealer as well. I mean, we're talking about Cesaro here. Cesaro knows, he knows how to put on good matches. So I'm kind of upset that WWE didn't let these two go balls to wall, much like they did with Owens and Sami Zayn. They let those two go at it, but these two, Miz and Cesaro, couldn't. They didn't get that chance, and it was just chaos. I don't know if I really like that, but the result was the correct choice. The Miz retaining the Intercontinental Championship was the right decision. He has a lot going for him right now. The pairing of him and Maryse, it's brilliant. He's one of the top heels in WWE right now. He just has so much momentum. So I like the fact that he retained the Intercontinental Championship. If they were to put it on Cesaro, I think it would have been too soon. You need to let this build up more and let the animosity between both of them grow.
I thought it was a pretty decent match, and I'm not actually that upset that it ended the way it did. I thought it was a nice thing that they wove those two matches together, and I thought it ended just fine. I mean, if The Miz is going to get the victory, you got to let him get the heel victory, and it's not like Cesaro looked any worse coming out of it. He looked just fine coming out. And it's going to probably lead into a Fatal 4-Way, so I don't mind it. It's not like I'm ever looking forward to a Miz match. I don't have anything against The Miz, really, but I wasn't dying to see him face Cesaro, let's just say that much. I was,
Yeah.
Mike Mizanin, he's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
that's what he says.
No, he's actually a very legit heel, people. I'm just gonna say that right now. But
he's a legit heel. I'm not gonna lie, he's a great heel. But I'm never like looking forward to his matches or anything. I'm just like, he's pretty good. But
even against Cesaro, honestly, this was one of those Miz matches that I was looking forward to.
Well, as far as like Cesaro versus The Miz, I'll be honest with you. Lucas, I am with you. I did have a hard time getting into the match because Owens was doing that good of a job on commentary, but the execution of the ending, I kind of question a bit, because this is where I kind of say I wasn't really big on Owens winning the last match, because it's almost like a situation where Sami Zayn, he comes off looking like a sore loser in a sense, because he straight up lost clean, and all of a sudden he's coming on back out to attack Owens, which if you really think about it, he really has no reason to go up to attack Owens because he just beat him clean. And you're pretty much, like I said, I wasn't really fine with the situation. I just didn't like.
You're forgetting the post match beatdown. That's what you're forgetting.
I was gonna mention that as well. Yeah, Owens actually beat Sami Zayn up after the match, so Zayn did actually.
To me, he still lost. So that just doesn't matter to me. Like I said, I just wasn't really. Like I said, I don't care about the execution. I just thought it was fine. But I do agree with Miz retaining, though. I do think that was a smart route to go on. And maybe we will get a Fatal 4-Way elimination match, something out of this. But, yeah, not really big on the execution, but it was fine.
I felt Cesaro's performance here was amazing. I think he still shines so brightly in that spot, and that's exactly what needed to happen for him. He didn't need to win the match necessarily, just needed to, once again, kind of reiterate, kind of set his feet, so to speak, and just did an amazing job in this match. I think Miz plays the heel role very well, as was mentioned before. and I find it interesting that a couple of you actually seemed almost a little bit distracted from the match because of Owens' commentary being so good. I guess that could almost be like a detriment in a certain way if somebody comes out and does commentary and they're so entertaining that you're just like, man, everything he's saying about Michael Cole is almost funnier than and more entertaining than what's going on in the ring, so I'm paying more attention and listening to him more than I'm actually watching the action. So do you guys think that that's actually like a detriment in some situations?
I mean, it can be, because it's just like we always talk about how unbearable the commentary team is week to week, and it's pretty much not on us. It's pretty much on them, because there's just so many superstars back there that literally have a lot more charisma than all three of them combined on that commentary team. Remember, superstars are given different material than the commentary team is week to week. So yeah, real quick though, I will give WWE credit on this, and this is something that I don't do often. They had some fantastic continuity, I thought, with Owens in the IC title, because it's rare that we see a person when he loses a title and automatically he doesn't remember like a month or 2 months later. The fact that he remembered that he lost that belt, a belt that meant so much to him, and the fact that he immediately went after to see what was going to be the result of the IC title match to get back what he wanted, I thought that just made everything fantastic overall. And Owens was the star of the night, in my opinion.
It was good.
I think you're right.
It was good, but it was good, but it almost felt like I was watching Raw for a second, because I'm like, this is something that you would pull off on an episode of Raw, like, oh, I'm going to reclaim my IC title, and then they put him on commentary. Again, that's something, even though it was good, it's something that you would say for Raw, as filler or something.
But the fact that he remembered it.
Yeah, but that's something you say for Raw. Like, when it's on a pay-per-view, you want to see the matches. You don't want to see like a storyline within another storyline. To me, that kind of just derails the purpose of pay-per-view matches. So that's my only gripe about it.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from, Lucas. I think you make a good point. I mean, me personally, that didn't bother me at the time, but I do think that I could see why you would say, hey, that felt more like a Raw segment, because we had another segment later on in the night that kind of felt like a Raw segment, at least in my opinion. When you have a lengthy promo on our pay-per-view, it always feels like a Raw segment, but that's just me. But yeah, I do think that what Cass was saying is also important too. The looping from one to the other was really well executed. I got to give WWE props in that regard as well. So some good stuff here in the mid-card, and definitely Kevin Owens shining a lot on this night. So I think we should go ahead and move into the next match here. I don't know if we really should, but I guess we will. Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho. Ambrose pulling out the victory over Y2J.
Why is everyone groaning? What happened?
This was bad. This was
what?
boring. This was
No,
bad.
I didn't enjoy it.
I liked this. What are you guys talking about? This is a good
bad.
match.
No. This was bad.
This was the second best match on the show.
What
are you talking about? Yeah.
well, yeah. In terms of match quality, it was the second best. But let's be honest.
What was wrong with it?
Well, here's
What's wrong with it is the fact that it was dry. The result was dry. Okay, Dean Ambrose wins. You want a cookie? That's my impression.
Yeah, but I didn't know he was gonna win. I didn't even.
I knew he was. That was obvious. Jericho puts over everybody. Come on.
No, he doesn't anymore.
Well, Steve, here's the thing. I had an issue with the match because, one, I wasn't really big on the feud when it started because, one, I have no idea what they were feuding about. And also,
exactly.
like, what is this going to do for Dean Ambrose moving forward? For all we know, he's probably going to face Garbage Man, a.k.a. Eric Rowan, next month if he was at Extreme Rules.
Jesus Christ.
Don't pull out those Eric Rowan insults. Not on this show.
Yeah, Jamie Doverson's going to come after you next.
That's right.
This was a good match. It actually had a lot of good spots, had a lot of good psychology. It was a good match. I don't maybe
what is this gonna do for Dean Ambrose?
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing.
This match. Well, that's the point. That's the point.
What is any of these matches gonna do for anyone? Nothing. It's WWE. What do you want?
But at least give us some more excitement out of it. I just felt like it was just two guys fighting over a lollipop or something, and then the winner gets the lollipop. Oh, okay, Jolly G, yay, we're all happy. That's what this felt like.
Well, to Steven's point, I will say that it's not guaranteed that Jericho loses because everyone thought he was losing at Mania and he won. I mean, not like that was a great decision or anything.
And I thought Jericho would win here too.
He was not going to win this match.
I did not think Jericho would win here, but I can see why it wasn't just like guaranteed that Ambrose would go over. I thought this match was all right. I'm kind of in the middle. I felt that there was some all right spots, but I felt like it was harder to get invested into.
Exactly.
And I mean, you were coming off such a high pace, and then you get a more slow paced wrestling match that just it was on and off. All right.
Yeah, it was on and
off.
Yeah,
it had some moments.
Yeah, like it's weird. It would pick up on momentum, then it would just shut down again. I'm like, no, I can't get into this match. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, and like it really doesn't help when the ring psychology is off when you put on the walls of Jericho, and then all of a sudden you hit him in the back of the head with the insecurity. If you can't put away the walls of Jericho, then why in the world do you think an insecurity would put him away?
Well, I don't understand why the walls on the announce table is somehow more impactful than it being
Please don't make that into a thing.
The same thing. Listen, guys, I don't want to sound like a Chris Jericho hater here. I really love the guy.
Me
but
too.
As of late, he's just been, like, as far as execution with matches and putting over talent, he's just been quite awful at it. I mean, a few years ago, I used to praise the guy because he would do such a good job. But I think it's important to know here that he has completely failed in putting over two guys this year since he's come back. AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose. Those two guys, I'm sorry, but the execution of both programs have just completely disappeared. It's led to nothing. And I think Chris Jericho needs to reevaluate his little creative sheet there because he needs to come up with better material.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When Jericho turned heel, I knew straightforward that we were going to get like classic 08 Jericho all over again. I knew we probably weren't going to get nothing at that. So I will say what Jericho has been doing, it's been fine, but it hasn't been. But that's not really saying much when you're just getting fine at Chris Jericho. Because when he turns heel, because when he's a heel, he actually makes stuff interesting. But the fact that he couldn't even get me interested in like this feud, if you want to call it that, and plus, like I said, what is Ambrose going to do with this? Nothing. I can't really take Ambrose seriously. I haven't been able to take him seriously since the Mania match against Lesnar.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, see, that match didn't do anything for him because of the way it was booked. Not even because he lost. It was just because he wasn't booked to look good in the match. And then in this one, it didn't do enough to really help him in any. I mean, it helps him in terms of getting a win, but that's really all there is to it. I mean, Ambrose winning on pay-per-views has been a rarity. We all know that. So, I mean, at least he does get the victory. That does matter. I mean, not very much. It's not a big deal, but at least it is in the right direction. If Jericho goes over here, that makes this match seem even more of a shrug. So, yeah, it was okay overall. Anybody else have any closing thoughts on that one, or should we just move on?
I mean, can Jericho please take the word "goat" off of the back of his trunk so we can just move on from that?
He needs to disappear for a while again, I think.
I'm just so worried about Ambrose. Like, I really am, because it's like this is the second pay-per-view match this year where, well, not really, but it's the second one in a row that has not mean much, and it's really not going to help him when you put him in these high-profile matches and his character does not develop. And like, seriously, he's just probably going to go back to doing the Ambrose Asylum thing after this.
Yep.
Yeah, very much. Likely, and it's unfortunate that this was really kind of based off of a TV show within a TV show.
Yeah.
And it really, I mean, I'm glad there was like something. At least it wasn't just like, hey, you're a guy and I'm a guy and we're both wrestlers, so let's fight. I mean, at least it was like something, but it wasn't a good something.
Or my haircut's better than your haircut.
They need to turn Ambrose heel. Until I get that, I'm going to be very, very pissed off.
We are never getting to that point.
Anything else from you, Steve?
I enjoyed the match, and I liked how it ended. So, you guys are judging it based off a bunch of stuff that's not relevant to the actual match. So.
It is relevant.
It is.
No,
they were making this out to be a big deal between Chris Jericho and
What are you
Dean
talking
Ambrose.
about? They weren't making it out to be that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yes, they were. They even had a little video package before the damn match. Come on now.
Well, I mean, they do that for every match.
Not nowadays.
So the reason you didn't like it is because they made a video package.
No, the reason I didn't like it is because we're talking about a future Hall of Famer here in Chris Jericho going up against the supposed future, and that veteran is supposed to make this guy look like $1 million. Not tonight. That didn't happen tonight.
Okay. It's kind of just a lateral thing. Like it's like you win one, you lose one. I don't know. It just doesn't do enough for Ambrose for me. But I still see some positives in it. It was just all right. Kind of fell in the middle. So let's go ahead and move forward into the women's championship match. We had Charlotte.
This was a shitty match.
This was the shitty match.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. Oh yeah, we'll get there. So we got Charlotte with the Whoa Man, Ric Flair, in her corner with Natalya and Bret Hart. First appearance he's made in quite some time. The Hitman.
I'm sure he was glad that he.
Bret Hart did not care about this match. He did not give a fuck.
Man, I like talk about looking like you don't care. I mean, he just sat there like, let's go. The most excited he seemed in the match was in the beginning when they mentioned that Natalya was from Calgary, and he's like, yeah, Canada, man. And then the match, he was just like, all right,
I don't blame
catering,
him.
yeah.
I mean, he probably heard the finish, and he's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Well, I can't really blame him for that one. So basically what we got at the end of this match was Montreal Screwjob rehashed by having Charlotte make Natalya tap out, but she didn't tap out. The bell was rung before there was any tap out, and we basically just got that rehash, and then we get to see Bret Hart feebly try to get Ric Flair into the sharpshooter as Natalya had Charlotte in the sharpshooter at the same time in the ring at the end. Charlotte hangs on to the title in a clusterfuck of a finish.
Yeah, that is exactly the way it was. A cluster fuck. And I'll be honest with you, before all that was going on, I really could not get into this match because here's the thing. I watched NXT. I've seen it the first time. We saw it at Roadblock not too long ago, and we've seen it like they've done it a few times, like on Raw and SmackDown, just as a throwaway match. So it's like when you do it so much, it's like when you get up to that point, it doesn't really mean as much. And honestly, the feud going into it really didn't mean much to me either. And then when you add the ending of what was just, what in the world? It was just all around craziness, and like I said, Bret Hart, he really did not care. You could just see it by his body language, the way that he was going. He did not care. He even said in an interview, people, he did not care about this match. So, geez.
Okay, where is this supposed women's evolution that Stephanie McMahon was talking about tonight?
You mean revolution?
No. That she said Divas Revolution and the evolution of women's wrestling. That's what she said.
What word?
Evolution. Jesus Christ. You don't know what evolution is?
Without the R.
Yeah.
No. I mean that D word you were talking about. What was that word? The D word?
Oh, okay. Well anyway.
Those don't exist anymore.
Yeah,
my butterfly belts.
My point is, this felt like we were in that same Diva division again tonight, because this match kind of felt like that same direction, that same status quo that we've seen for many, many years within the Divas. And also, if we're going back to that, I'm sorry, but what was the point of having this new women's championship introduced last month at WrestleMania when we're getting the same shitty finishes with these matches? So I have a problem with Charlotte being the champion. I had a problem with this match. I had a problem with this finish. This was horseshit. And to make things worse, you had Shane McMahon go out there later in the night in the main event and say, no, we're not ending things that way. So why couldn't he do the same thing for when Charlotte and Natty were in the ring and the referee rang the bell? Why not have Shane go out there and say, no, we're going to restart this match?
Well, to be fair, that was before he was...
before he was in power.
He was in power.
Yeah, and Vince didn't feel like coming out. That's why.
Well,
he had to get a coffee.
Do you think we're going to actually get an explanation of why the fucking referee did this?
No.
Which is the worst part about all of this. You could have at least had Ric Flair say he paid him or something, but I doubt we're going to get any explanation.
Well, they said he's Little Nate. He looks like Ric Flair. That's the only reason.
The great Charles Robinson, I mean, he can do whatever he wants as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Man, has the hair of a legend. That hair is going in the Hall of Fame, man. I promise you.
You think they're gonna cut it off and make him bald and then just have the hair itself be inducted? Or
Yeah, probably. Well, they could also shave his head and make him go corporate or something.
Steven, tell me how much you love this match, even though I know you say you hate. But how much did you like it? How much did you like it?
I didn't care about it at all. I don't like Natalya, to be honest with you.
What?
I don't care for her. And on top of that, Bret Hart looked bored. He was just rubbing off
Exactly.
on me. The ending was stupid. The segment after the ending was stupid because it looked like
like it's over.
Ric Flair was waiting like 5 seconds for him to lock in the sharpshooter without even moving. Bret Hart could barely move. I don't know.
Definitely.
He's got fat. I'm sorry, but everybody knows that he's got fat when he was walking down the ring.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he has been going through like cancer treatments and everything. So I think that, but I think having him get in the ring and try to put on the sharpshooter was probably not for the best right now.
No.
Him being there, that's fine. But him looking bored, I mean, I'm sorry, but if he's at ringside and he doesn't look entertained, why would I, as a viewer,
exactly?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
by the way,
question.
What is this shirt that Natalya was wearing? It's a Fight Bret Fight. What does Kevin Owens have to do with this? Did anyone notice that?
I think everyone's just trying to steal from Kevin Owens because he's just got he's got the best catchphrase. He's got the best moniker. He's got all the fire on his sides. Everyone's
it's
like,
weird though. Like, what is Kevin? Like, I know they did that thing with Cena. Like, they took Cena's catchphrase, but Cena's like the main character, so whatever. That makes sense.
More sense. Yeah, Kevin Owens is an enemy. He's a villain.
Yeah,
like I say, catchphrase. They just put.
It just really sucks that this match really ended up the way it did, because it honestly could have been much better than what it was. And if you're really trying to usher in this new era, like, because that's what this whole pay-per-view was based on, a new era, then why are you pretty much going back to what you've been doing for many, many years, and something that you actually went back that you did 13 years ago, and you're going back to doing that? So
I want to know why the hell Natalya was in this match to begin with. Like, what? Seriously. Who in creative team thought it was the best idea to have Natalya go up against what's her name, Charlotte at Payback?
Definitely First of all, wasn't Michael Hayes.
Where was Sasha Banks? Where's Becky Lynch? Like, come on now. These are the women wrestlers that we need to see. Natty came out of nowhere, much like AJ Styles got involved in the title picture out of nowhere. We got Natty doing the same thing. I'm like, what? What's going on here?
I'm sorry, but the fans chanting "We want Sasha" in the match definitely didn't help much either.
Not at all. Because the thing is, that's what the fans legitimately do want. And I do think that holding off with Sasha isn't the worst thing, because she deserves to win the championship at a bigger event.
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, definitely.
Or WrestleMania, like it could have happened.
It could have been WrestleMania. But hey, holding off till SummerSlam is okay with me. I just think that Sasha not being featured at all on some of these shows is a detriment. Yeah. That's not a good thing. So, and I see definitely everything you guys are saying. I agree with most of it. But I am going to say one thing. I don't want to jump the gun and say that this women's evolution is a complete bust and the title is like pointless and all that. I don't want to say that yet, because it's too early to say so. I mean, this, is a stupid way to finish this match. But, again, I'm going to give it some time. I think it's only fair to do so.
But Evan, the problem with that is we've been waiting for how long now?
I know that. But
since last year. Yeah, since last summer.
They've been talking about this whole Revolution thing since last summer. Go ahead.
Honestly, I haven't been waiting since last summer. I've been waiting for years to see women's wrestling improve.
Well, that too.
But I mean, I get it. I know the whole Revolution thing started last summer, and I remember immediately saying, well, I don't believe him, because why would I? And I mean, I still don't necessarily fully believe it. I'm not saying I suddenly do, but I'm just going to give it a little bit of a benefit of a doubt. This is still better, even as clusterfucky as it was still better than some of the shit we used to get. It really is. I mean, when you think about some of those women's title matches that you got in the past that were under a minute or just completely stupid, had no point at all, these definitely still have been better. So it's a step up, but there's still a lot of progress to be made, and I mean a lot. So, any other final thoughts though, guys?
I better not see Natalya get another title shot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I hope this is her one and done because honestly, I think a lot of this had to do with the fact that Natty was involved. I'm sorry, but she has no charisma, and there's sign of that because they had to bring Bret Hart into the picture to make this entertaining, and Bret Hart didn't even care. So.
Yeah, and it's tough if someone who's actually at ringside, right there on the camera, doesn't act like they care. Why are we as the viewers going to translate, and feel that same type of emotion? Why would we care, So, moving on, we had the promo that we mentioned a little bit, and I think we can kind of skim over this thing. Basically, Shane and Stephanie are both going to have power going forward, and so it basically became a McMahon trio in the ring, and it lasted quite a bit of time. It really kind of felt like something to just fill up the time because they didn't have any matches left besides the main event. So let's just have the McMahons go out there and cut a 20-minute promo. No big deal.
Yeah, that's
so what do you guys think of this whole thing?
This was brilliant. This was exactly what needed to happen. I predicted it last week when I said Vince McMahon is going to do something crazy, and he's probably going to give power to both Stephanie and Shane McMahon.
That's not crazy. That's boring and stupid.
Yeah.
Also,
that's not
he had
stupid.
He delivered the most disturbing series of lines I've ever heard. He said, I want you to slit each other's throats and disembowel.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. I like it. I like it a lot. And that was the right call because now this initiates the war between the Authority and Shane McMahon, the power struggle. That's what everybody wants to see, right? Well, you're going to get it, so why are people... I don't understand. Why are people...
Who said everyone wanted to see that?
Yeah. You don't want to see a power struggle between Shane McMahon and...
Maybe a little bit, but not that much.
All right, well, think about it this way. Maybe this is the beginning of the brand split, because if you're giving power...
No, I don't want that either.
Well, and I don't know what you guys want out of this, but I like it. I like it.
I don't want more bullshit. I don't want to be told that we're entering a new era, and then...
Exactly.
Well, haven't we been told we've gotten a new era like 4 times in the last 4 years? I'm pretty sure every year.
Yeah, every year.
One point where they say it's a new era. It's the real era.
With John Laurinaitis, people power.
Oh yeah.
I actually lied to him, but that's around the point. But yeah, let me just say, can someone please explain to me why the fuck this didn't happen on Raw? Here's the thing: we watch Raw to see what they're going to do. We don't really care 9 out of 10 times about filler matches. We care more so to see what they're gonna do to advance storylines. When I get to the pay-per-view, I have already paid my $9.99 for the month. So it's why are you even putting on something that really ultimately didn't really make much difference on Monday Night Raw? And it was a waste of time. And once we get to the next one, you will hear me say that a lot. Waste of my time.
You answered your own question. You paid $9.99 to see that.
That's a very unfortunate $9.99. But Steven,
I liked how Shane McMahon puts on the Titantron. Shane is the perfect person to play the new on-screen Authority. That's not
on-screen.
That's not undermining the kayfabe at all.
I loved it.
A little bit of reflection of truth.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I really wasn't big on it going so long because it just reminded me of Raw again. But I will say, not that I'm interested in a power struggle, but I think that this decision, it makes sense. Just way too long. Just way too long for me. That's pretty much it. Just way too long for me.
Yeah, that was my number one issue too, was the length of it. But my second biggest issue is the fact that it wasn't on Monday Night Raw and was on a freaking pay-per-view. Because to me, a promo being on a pay-per-view that's a couple minutes long, whatever, all right, that's fine. But this type of length to a promo on a pay-per-view, to me, it makes it feel that much more like filler. And it's nothing that couldn't have just opened up Raw the next night. We could have seen Shane, because, Shane and Steph both get involved in the main event. And we could have seen that still without the promo segment, and that would have led into that exact promo happening on Raw to open the show. It would have made more sense, because then they would have been arguing over who actually has the power, who deserves the power, and Vince would have been the middleman, and it would have made more sense that way, at least as far as I'm concerned. But we're still forgetting the entire thing going back several weeks where Shane literally was never supposed to have power at all. And Vince is still giving him some, which is just so damn funny to me. I guess we're just gonna let the plot hole.
Just forget it. We're done.
We're just gonna have to file that one away for now. But...
Yeah, people, I've given up. I ain't finished. I'm just fuck this storyline. I'm just gonna go along for the rat. My memory is blank from what happened, even though I can never go back and watch that match ever again.
They pulled the Chris Benoit.
I don't think it's at that level at all, but I mean
Vince McMahon seems to want them to do some stuff on the level of that. Slit each other's throats and disembowel each other.
I guess
blood.
so.
He wants blood.
I liked how he was feeding into the CM Punk chants, though. I did enjoy that. That was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty enjoyable, I gotta say. And honestly, I'm surprised those chants weren't more present than they were, because usually they go to Chicago and it's constant. So definitely was. Of course, they're gonna do it with Vince, though. It just makes too much sense.
Let's tease the IWC here. CM Punk is gonna represent Shane against Triple H, representing Stephanie at SummerSlam. Yay!
No, I'm sure there's some fan theories out there already about that one, Lucas. I'm sure you're not the first person.
Lucas, I got about as much a chance at that happening than having Michael Hayes, Hulk Hogan, and Vince McMahon take on the New Day.
I can tell you the series of clues that tell you CM Punk is coming back. So in the opening promo, the New Day mentioned Hey Arnold, right?
Oh, yeah.
Love that show.
Hey Arnold's grandpa, do you remember his name?
Phil.
Oh, Phil? Who's Phil?
Phil Brooks.
Oh, CM Punk confirmed.
Oh, absolutely. It's unbelievable. It's that's crazy. It's like those Illuminati theories. It's always it's the third number from the left. It's always there. So it's got to be. It's confirmed. Phil from Hey Arnold. Yep, you're right. Anyway, this promo segment, man, one way or another, being on a pay-per-view.
Hold on, let me show you. Waste of time.
I think you got it right there, Cass, but I see we had a difference of opinion. We'll continue this show on with the main event. We got to get to this match because there's a lot to talk about with this. Roman Reigns, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, defending the title against AJ Styles, one-on-one, and Reigns ultimately walking away with the championship, but not before there was some fuckery from Gallows and Anderson, the match being restarted on two different occasions for two different reasons, with two different finishes prior to the actual finish. So just a lot going on, a lot to process here in this main event, but Reigns walking away, still the champion. What did you guys think of this main event?
This is shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Actually, let me rephrase that. It was good and bad. It had its ups and downs. I don't think it was necessary to restart the match. 3 times? That was just completely stupid, in my opinion. If they had just let those two go at it for 20, 30 minutes, put on a freaking show, don't do any of this bullshit nonsense that they had to do, and just told the story in the ring, because let's face it, there was no story really between Roman Reigns or AJ Styles, and I figured, they were going to let them do the work with the match itself telling the story, but we didn't even get to see that. So I'm sorry, but I had to get on WWE here, because if your main event is going to be AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns, then that exact match needs to sell me on the fact that it's a main event, and this did not feel like a main event. It got interesting towards the end. You had AJ Styles do the forearm onto the announce table, crashing down, and that was awesome. They went back and forth outside of the ring. You had some amazing spots. There was even a point where I thought AJ Styles was going to be champion, because there was one unpredictable count where I was like, holy shit, is it really going to happen? So don't get me wrong. The unpredictability was there at some points in the match, but we just didn't need to see all these restarts and all this chaos.
It completely ruined the pacing of the match.
Yeah.
And the annoying thing is, they just get through telling me we're in a new era And then they come out and Shane says, we're not going to end it this way. But the ironic thing is, this played out exactly like a clusterfuck WWE finish.
Mm-hmm.
And just because they restarted the match didn't change that. In fact, that contributed to it because it just ruined the pacing twice. And I just felt like there was no fluidity to it. It was just them doing moves and then things happening and then them doing moves again. The one thing I will say is that Roman Reigns is really cool in this match. I like his new style, his new attitude.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
But, I mean, the Bullet Club did nothing of interest in this match. Finn Balor didn't show up. I think it's safe to say the Bullet Club is kind of they're nothing. Like, to me, they're just they're on the same level as the Usos, and I'm sorry to say that.
I've been saying it. People didn't want to listen to me. People haven't wanted to listen to me. I don't have any backup here,
so I'm not even going to go in. I have no backup
here. Me and Steven have been saying it all along. There has been no identity, no clear indication of who these guys are. Tonight, I mean, hell, if we're not going to see it tonight, I don't think we're going to see it ever. So to all these Bullet Club fans that are listening to this right now, please explain to me what happened.
I think we are going to see it, but it wasn't tonight, and it's certainly taking way too long.
And I'm not surprised. I'm honestly not surprised we didn't see it tonight because I expected some shit like that to happen.
Well, to me, they're being put into too big of a spot, given the fact that they don't have enough of an identity yet. You're putting them into a main event spot, and you're just hoping that people will catch on to it. And honestly, like I said a couple of weeks ago, this match seemed more predicated on who was going to run in when and how that was going to affect the outcome than it was about Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles, which is what the match was really supposed to be about.
Exactly.
That's who's fighting for the championship, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
not crazy, right? I'm not out of my mind.
Yeah, you're not, man. Like I said, it's like I said, I even said this before, it pretty much should have just been about AJ and Roman, and honestly, I was actually enjoying everything before all the clusterfuck, and this honestly reminded me of John Cena versus Randy Orton SummerSlam 2009 when they pulled it, even though that match wasn't that good to begin with. That's around the point. But yes, but people, see, look at this right here. This is where we should be at right now.
Put that down. Yeah, throw it away. Good job. Good job.
This is where we should be like that. It doesn't make AJ. It doesn't make AJ look weak, and it definitely didn't make Roman look weak.
No, it kind of makes AJ Styles look weak. It makes him look weak.
I didn't think it hurt AJ.
It didn't hurt AJ. It hurt the Bullet Club because they did nothing. They're just
Bullet Club has no impact.
But it hurt
AJ. And the Usos, them coming down, they didn't really do much either. They just pretty much just add on to, there was just way too much going on for a match that pretty much just could have been told just for the in-ring aspect of it. And the fact that they're going to get a rematch.
Yeah, well, first of all, why does AJ get a rematch? He lost even though there was interference.
I'm telling you guys, I'm so done with this storyline. I'm selling it. I'm selling Bullet Club. I'm selling AJ Styles. He does not even need to be in the main event picture right now. I don't care how crazy the crowd here in New York and New Jersey is going to go when they go to Extreme Rules. I don't give a damn if they go crazy for AJ Styles. If he didn't win the title tonight, he's not going to win it later this month. Roman Reigns is the clear star. It's been that way since who knows how long. People have to accept it. He was awesome tonight. Roman Reigns was a badass, and that's what people need to realize. I like Roman Reigns more than I like AJ Styles tonight. The Bullet Club is just going to be exactly what you saw from them tonight. They're going to be mid-carders feuding with the Usos after Payback. They're not going to be the Shield. They're not going to be
You know what? That's it. I am not containing my frustrations of this any longer. They will not. You have to let this progress. Real quick.
How long? How much longer you want me to let this progress? Tell me.
It definitely needs to progress, but when they're being put into such a big spot, it doesn't work.
Okay, but
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and also I mentioned that AJ gets a rematch, and Shane says it's an Extreme Rules match. Why should I care about the rematch next month? Because this pretty much was an Extreme Rules match tonight. So
this is stupid. This whole thing is stupid. How is he getting a rematch? Makes no sense.
Like how?
It is a little bit strange. I'm going to say this much. I think that the pacing, as Steven had mentioned, was affected greatly because of the match being restarted on 2 different occasions. I think the reason they had this happen was because they wanted to follow up on the promo and show that both Steph and Shane
And that was terrible.
power.
Yeah.
Like, see that, and again, it hurts the main event. It really, it didn't add to it. It didn't make me more intrigued in the power struggle, which I don't really think we need to have right now. But that, I guess, is a little bit besides the point. It hurt the main event directly. Roman Reigns as an individual performed amazingly well. AJ Styles as an individual, I thought, personally, performed very well also. I think both guys held their own. They both pulled off some excellent spots in this match, especially that midair Superman punch from Roman. That was an excellent spot. And I think both guys worked really well together. I think they worked well together. If you can separate the BS, it's very hard to do so. I'm just trying to like mentally block that stuff out, but I can't. When I'm reviewing the entire match, I consider that and I say, okay, this match was a mess.
Yeah.
Because of it. It had some fun spots. It had some good moments. It wasn't all bad for me, at least. I didn't think it was
wasn't
trash.
all bad, but it was just too much of a clusterfuck, and they fucked up the pacing too much.
And the sad part is Roman Reigns and AJ Styles seem like 2 guys that could put on like a great rivalry. Like they're the perfect protagonist and antagonist to a story. But WWE isn't capitalizing on all the work that these 2 guys could do individually. You know, Roman Reigns is the perfect big guy going up against the small guy, but they didn't care to tell that story heading into the pay-per-view. Oh, AJ Styles is this underdog. I don't understand why they wouldn't just let Roman Reigns and AJ Styles tell a story on their own heading into Payback, and then bring the Bullet Club into all of this. That's my stance on it. Because in my opinion, they did it ass backwards. It's like they didn't wait for Payback to do this. So now because of that, they've dug themselves into a hole where now they don't know what the payoff is going to be. It's like they don't know what they want yet from the Bullet Club, and that's their fault for doing this.
Well, yeah, again, putting them in on too big of a level too early, I think. That's really the only problem that I see, because other than that, I think them getting more of a slow development hasn't really been the issue. I just think that the spot they're being put in is too much, too quick for this situation, especially if you're not going to have them make this like immediate impact, which, as I argued a couple weeks ago, isn't always necessary for these teams to make, or for anybody to really make. Again, you messed up the pacing, but I still think Styles and Reigns put on a good match that just got messed up along the way. So if you take away the BS, this main event would have been very good. And again, like I said, some really cool spots in this match. Both guys performed very well, and Roman Reigns especially took on he had a different tone, a different persona within this match, and that's more of the persona that he needs based off the crowd reactions, based off the way that everything is around him right now. He did a really good job. He stopped giving a fuck. The match was getting messed up. He got desperate, and he started doing whatever he needed to do, pulled out the stops, and that was really good psychology on the part of Roman Reigns. Now, you take into consideration the match being restarted twice. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of a match getting restarted 2 different times just to kind of throw the weight around of the McMahons in the power struggle. Yeah. That's a storyline that's honestly a yawn at this point. I don't need to see a power struggle between Shane and Stephanie. I really don't.
And having them close the show, and that's the last thing that you see, doesn't really help much. I mean, like I said, it was pretty much all about the McMahons instead of about AJ and Roman, which it really should have been the first time.
Because you guys aren't getting it. This McMahon power struggle is going to be the big summer angle. So,
but Lucas, I know it's going to be the damn summer angle. I've been watching this goddamn awful show for weeks. I just don't appreciate when they put their big ass egos ahead of the superstars when this match really could have been about AJ and Roman. People, I like Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, he has progressed. He actually did fucking amazing tonight with those near falls and those kickouts. I will not deny that. AJ Styles, his first WWE World Heavyweight title match. Guess what? Tonight he made history. He made history. He is the first superstar in history to actually main event WWE, ROH, New Japan, pay-per-views.
Wait.
In all promotions, he's the first man to do that. He's the first man to do that in all promotions. I'm not gonna deny that.
I thought that was Daniel Bryan.
No, it's actually him. I looked at my first, but I just hate it. Like, I just so hate it.
Well, if we count total nonstop action wrestling,
Yeah.
the forbidden promotion, then I mean, I guess Styles has him there. But anyway, so main event, definitely some mixed opinions on it, some goods, some bads, thrown all into the mix. Now, what are you guys' overall thoughts on Payback as an entire event?
It was much like the build-up. I felt like it was much like the build-up. It was on and off.
I'll be honest with you, it wasn't as big of a waste of time as WrestleMania was, but that's really not saying much. I mean, you had some good matches, just some questionable finishes.
Yeah, I liked some parts. I liked a few of the matches. I wasn't bored for most of it, but I don't know. The main event was it wasn't very good, and that's like the determining factor. If the main event isn't that good, then you're gonna feel shitty about it. If it is good, you're gonna come out feeling good. The main event just felt like you were being jerked around, and Roman got the win, and nothing really interesting happened. The Bullet Club didn't do anything new. We didn't get Finn Balor. Nothing happened. So this wasn't the payoff to what we've been building to, which is who knows what. This is just one other step into building towards something that will probably never happen, much like most of the WWE storylines. So,
yep.
Yeah.
It was a way for them. It was a way for them to draw you in, so that Roman Reigns could once again be on top. The Roman Empire lives on.
Well, I mean, his championship reign definitely should not have come to an end here at Payback, at least in my opinion. I mean, I think they went all the way in on him winning at WrestleMania, and him losing the title, 3-4 weeks later, would have been really asinine in my opinion. So yeah, him retaining here was definitely the right decision, and Reigns took on a better tone tonight. So for me overall, I thought Payback had started off on a good note, not on a great note with the Enzo injury, but the first two matches that we really had, Owens and Zayn, and then the IC title scenario, really great stuff. It honestly got off to an excellent start. Ambrose and Jericho kind of, things went a little downhill from there. Ambrose and Jericho was all right. The women's title match, not that bad of an in-ring match, but it definitely got ruined by a bad finish. And then you get the promo that just went on too long in the main event, which was kind of a cluster, but did have some pros. Like, I can take a positive away from every single thing on this show, which is good. So I'm not going to sit here and say that anything on this show was trash, because I don't think anything was complete trash. Even if there was some trashy moments within matches, this was a decent night. I think that Extreme Rules, there's some possibilities there if you go the 4-way for the IC title. I mean, Styles and Reigns, again, I'm not going to say I'm disappointed to see those guys wrestling again, because they did well, but there was just a lot of trash going on with the fuckery and the constant...
Watch...
I'm just so tired.
Watch next month Steel Cage match with Styles and Reigns if they don't go with the Extreme Rules route.
I'm just so tired of WWE having like stupid booking decisions, backward booking. Like, since WrestleMania, Shane McMahon loses, gets control of Raw. AJ Styles loses tonight. Oh, he gets a rematch. This makes absolutely no sense. Like, who is booking this? Who's writing the scripts here? I really want to know in what world is losing all of a sudden winning now.
Well,
it's definitely not Michael Hayes, I'll tell you that.
Well, because wrestling, let's be honest here. I mean, and honestly, that's the safety answer that we always have to go to, because there's always going to be that inconsistency. That's something that, like, again, it's one of those things you got to kind of just file away. It is what it is. Like, there's going to be guys who would get screwed over in a match, don't ever get a rematch, and guys who, lose and get a rematch. Now, I understand AJ Styles, technically won via count out. I mean, at least there is like some legitimacy to him getting a rematch in that regard. But the match being restarted and then him losing clean, I mean, that kind of is what it is there. But I don't mind them wrestling each other again. But you guys bring up some good points as far as, some of the inconsistencies. They're there. They're definitely there. But I guess that's just the way wrestling really just seems to be, at least over the last number of years in particular. It's been a lot more at the forefront of everything. So Payback overall, it's in the books, a decent night, some ups, some downs, and Extreme Rules a few weeks away. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this show up here. Any final thoughts from you guys?
Yeah, I just want to say, so far WWE hasn't given us a pay-per-view this year where you could be, in awe with.
Except Royal Rumble.
All right, maybe that one, but so far there's been no pay-per-view this year that has made me look forward to the next night in WWE.
Yeah, I mean, just pretty much WWE. Just please don't fuck up Styles and Reigns again next Extreme. That's all I ask.
Well, I see Enzo has been released from the hospital, and he posted a picture of him giving the thumbs up, looking pretty cool. So
awesome.
That's all great to hear.
That's good news. Very good stuff. So can't really end the show on a better note than that. Looks like Enzo doing better, and that's only a good sign for an amazing team and one of the most charismatic and enjoyable guys on the mic. So a decent night, ups and downs. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Payback review. We will be back on Tuesday night, regular time, regular place. You know where to be here on PWF Empire Live. I am Evan for Lucas, Cass, and Steven. We thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Peace.